change my the view because I can see. That's okay. Are you seeing AutoFocus EXP, the GitHub page?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, we're ready to roll. So I'm going to share this link with you so you can also, in real time, look through it because I'm recording here, so you can like be looking at it simultaneously for yourself. Let me just see if I can get the chat window back up. There it is. I'm sending you this link. This is the first project. I started actually using this as an experiment page to see if I could make a very effective. It was a twofold experiment. One is to see if the method that Jaegerd showed of microtasking and puzzle-driven development was effective for solo development. That was one. And then two was to see if I could also leverage micro paying as well and make a GitHub page that was the single source of truth. So while I say it was just two goals or two things to test, it was really a lot of different variables. And let me really quickly run. I'm going to spin up this program real quick here. And I'll show you in live time how I'm doing that. And just get I think I can do PowerShell here as an administrator, and that should work. Cross-platform PowerShell. Interesting. So get the link of the code. And you don't have to memorize this, of course, because partly because we're recording, but also because this isn't really the important part, in my opinion. It's loaded. There we go. So don't use ls and PowerShell. That is something that I forgot you're not supposed to do. But this should stop doing that in a moment. It's actually reading out all the files. I forget because this is window, I'm supposed to use dir.
Oh, good to know.
Learn from other people's mistakes is my Spanish teacher's mantra. See, dir is totally better. No, I don't think either of these are the correct command. Well, that demo is going along swimmingly so far. So I'm going to look up PowerShell get folders in current directory. I don't want all subfolders. I just want the current folders. That's how you know it's a great technology. Just kidding. If you can't even look up, let's see here. Maybe this will be good. It says here you can also use the aliases dir, ls, and gci. Let's see if that does what I want to. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. So I want to see if I can get into just where I'm working right now. And I remembered now there was a shortcut to inspect where I'm working in. So I want to go to a particular folder, and the proper demo will start in just a moment. Let's just say this is studying, and I'm going to make a folder here for, let's just say, AutoFocus demo, AutoFocus demos. This is the folder location I want to go to, so I can see exactly what the, this is users admin Dropbox in the C. So users admin Dropbox. My PC. Then document study autofocus demos. Let's just go here first. Okay, cool. So we're in the correct folder. Now I can do git clone and then the address of the GitHub page, which is not GitHub page, but the GitHub repo itself, which you get to by clicking on this green code button. And then I'm just copying this clone HTTPS command here. I'm just copying with this button right here. So if I paste that in, and I'm having trouble pasting for some reason. Let me see if I can overcome the second unexpected challenge. Git clone. There we go. So I just used the keyboard instead to copy it. Sometimes copying with the mouse or a button on a website is not the same as copying with a keyboard. Okay. So this is the fast part now. So I've copied the project, and the project now lives on my computer. It may have been already somewhere else on my computer, but here we can see it now. And what I can do now is I can go into this folder that I just cloned into the directory. And I can look for that give me only the directories command here. Let's see if I can copy it and use that. Yep, cool. So in this project here, I just want to run it. And because this was created using just standard JavaScript, then there is a pattern that you can follow. I'm getting some very crazy loud static. Do you know if that could be coming? Let me see if I'm going to try and, could you mute? Yeah, when you're muted, I hear no static or feedback. All right, here begins the actual real start of the demo here. So I'm just going to really quickly get this project installed, and I can install it by going into one of these folders that has the package JSON. The package JSON is going to have our instructions for how to run this project. So just open with anything, take a look inside, and this is standard for GitHub, where depending, it varies from language to language, but any language will have some sort of project install instructions. So in this case, to install this project, I'm going to run, I believe it's npm install. There could be another instruction in here that says it's otherwise. And then to actually run the project, I'm going to use this thing where it says here, run. It could be called start. It's either start or run. So that's the trick is if you see that this is an NPM project, which it is, it says NPM all over the place, you just go in here and type NPM or NPM install. And then that takes care of just getting the project ready to run. And then I do NPM run. And I only know that because I looked at the instructions here. I had to do some inferring, but that's the interesting, I thought that was an interesting point to share, is that like there's a lot of code on GitHub and it doesn't seem obvious how to run it. But to a developer, it can be obvious because they know what they're supposed to be looking for. So I feel like that's like a technical insider thing where someone's going to tell you at some point, or maybe in some random YouTube tutorial they say it. But if you didn't know, then you'd never know. You wouldn't be able to run all this code on GitHub. It says there's a lot of vulnerabilities. I'm going to ignore that because this project isn't like going online or anything like that. I don't have to worry about it hacking my computer because it's not an online project. And I'll just do npm run. And if it is not ready to run, it will give me these instructions. So clearly I needed to build first. So I'll do npm build. Let's see, npm build called no arguments. Did you mean to run? Very useful here. Did you mean to run npm run script build? And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I meant to run. Run script build. So it will help you out a little bit at times, which is very useful. So in order of what I had to do, it was npm install, one, that was the first step. And the second step was do npm run script build. And I didn't have to have any of that memorized. The only thing I needed to know was, is this an npm project? And where do I go to look for the instructions, which was the package JSON file in the root. Now that it has been built, now I can do run. And it will now run beautifully for me. I haven't run this code in over a year probably by now. So here we are. This is the program. It says the loading list was not successful. This is AutoFocus. You can ignore this line where it says load was not successful. And please feel free to unmute yourself so we can like talk dynamically in real time. I would love to give you, I don't think this will let me give you mouse control. No, not here. I think maybe in Zoom you can like let someone else drive the mouse. But yeah, so I just want to ask you like if you would like me to show you how I believe this program is best run, or would you like to just take it for a spin yourself and you could say, hey, choose this selection, or you can use it as someone who's never seen this program before. And that would also be, I think, an interesting and valuable thing.
First, give me a little bit of context for,
Sure.
I mean, I can guess, but based on our conversation, you thought of this and wanted to share it. So
Yes.
give me a little, what is this project?
AutoFocus productivity. So there's a productivity system someone made called, for a pen and paper system.
Okay.
Called the AutoFocus system. Here it's this guy called Mark Forster. And this is all coincidentally on the AutoFocus EXP website as well, the GitHub repo, which I shared with you. Basically, let's see here. Wait, this doesn't say here? Let's see here. Oh, you know what? It doesn't really go in depth as to, right here, it doesn't go in depth as to how, basically, I found Mark Forster's AutoFocus system. Basically, you have a list of items you want to do, and you put some dots on them. Let me see if I can find the method. Quick start. Here's the quick start. So basically, Mark Forster made the argument that if you have a list of to-dos, if I can get this like a good big view. If you have a list of to-dos, it can be challenging because it's overwhelming to look at a list of to-dos. Basically, he said, look, you can take a list of to-dos and you can read through them and get them done efficiently and effectively in a way that feels good for you without getting overwhelmed. And the way, if I'm pretending to be him, I'd say, the way I think you can do this, accomplish this, is to make everything a binary choice. You've got these list of 8 items to do in your to-do list. What do you want to do more? 1 or 2? You want to do 2 the most? Okay, 2 is your current priority item. What do you want to do more? 2 or 3? And it's kind of a lot like going to the eye doctor, and they're like, checking. I don't know if you go to the eye doctor and they like say, which lens do you feel like it makes it clear for you? Just like that. Not always super easy, but generally speaking, it's better than trying to compare 5 or 10 or 100 things all at once. So you could skim over this if you'd like to. This is the algorithm as such. This is how he encourages one to burn through their to-do lists. And when you're ready, I will go back to the program and show you how this makes it into software.
Okay.
You ready or not yet?
Yep.
Okay, here. So basically, I will show you. This program lets you use his algorithm in a programmatic format. So if I say 1 to add a new to-do, let's say I want to, what's something you got to do today?
I need to summarize my notes from the conference.
So summarize conference notes, okay. So after I clicked that, it said new to-do item, summarize conference notes successfully created. I wouldn't say this program has the best UX. That's okay. It's a command line app. I'm gonna cut it some slack. And it says you have 1 to-do item. Let's put a couple more to-do items. Let's say
I need to mow the lawn.
Is it not in the mow the lawn? I don't think I'm in here. 1 second here. Oh, because I am in here. I have to hit 1 again. Let's please choose from the menu above. 1. And I say, mow the lawn, hit enter. Okay. Mow the lawn successfully created. Can we put 1 more item, please?
I need to work out.
1 again, work out. Okay. So in a different version of this program, you always see the list. So I have to actually click 4 or type 4 to see the current list. So there's a CMWTD thing, bad UX, current most want to do. That should just be priority. You could call it priority or now, whatever. Your now item, but CMWTD, current most want to do. So right now we have these 3 items. So following these instructions, you'd say,
So which one stands out to me?
That's not the individual instructions. There is some dotting. So this is a multi-page system right here. But I actually want the want the page rules. Hold on one moment. These are the rules in full. I actually summarized them somewhere. Let me see if I can find you the summarized rules, because I feel like that makes it actually quite clear what you're being asked to do. That's not going to cut it. It's too technical. Frequently asked questions, glossary, project goals, roadmap, scientists read me. Oh man, there was like a summary. I had a summary of how it goes. Let me see. There's like a quick start. Nope. That's okay if I can't find it right now. Okay. I'll give it to you in short. You make the list. That's one. And two is you dot the first item. So if I click number 2 to go into review mode, where I'm now going to decide what we're going to do, it says it marks the first ready item, the first unmarked item. So now number 1, the first item is dotted. If I quit this review process now, you'll see this is an extra step that the old program had. That's why I made newer versions of the program. And we're almost done with the demo, actually. If I now print the to-do list again, you'll see that the first item has a dot. That's the O right here. The good part is starting right here. So now we can actually review all the items. We could have reviewed them a moment ago, but I'm going to demonstrate the review process for you here that the program enables you to do. So you don't have to think about what you're going to review. So it kind of takes off. The benefit of this program, I hope, is that you just enter the items and then you click on review. And it basically will tell you, because you're telling it, please do this now. Please do this now, because you've told it what you want to do the most. You can always update the list. So I click review again, number 2. It says marking the first ready item. That was already marked, so you don't have to worry about that. It says, do you want to mow the lawn more than summarize the conference notes? So this is you, Linnea. Which do you want to do more? Mow the lawn? Do you want to mow the lawn more is the question, then summarize the conference notes.
No.
Okay, so we answer N here for no, and enter. And then the next question is, do you want to work out more than summarize the conference notes? And there's no wrong answer here. Yes, no, abort.
No.
Okay, so I put an N here and I hit enter. So our final list looks like this, where there's only one dotted item, and then we have these 2 other items, right? So what you do now is, now that you know as a human, now that you've finished reviewing, you would next go into focus mode. Maybe in this read about AutoFocus, it says what is more about it. I'm just curious. I'm going to hit 6. Nope, not in this version. That's okay. This is a stub. So we click on number 3, and it says you are working on summarized conference notes. So you'd do a session. You'd sit down. I don't know if it was 20 minutes, half an hour, however much is a sit for you. You sit down, and when you're ready, you'd hit any key except enter. That's a bug in this program. This program had a few bugs. So I'll just hit G. And it says, do you have work left to do on this item? So let's say you sat for half an hour. Do you think that, just theoretically, in this theoretical situation, did you summarize your conference notes in 30 minutes?
Probably not.
Okay, so we'll hit yes for there is work left. you can see here that there's no suggestion for yes, no, quit.
Mm.
And Y and Q aren't really necessarily obvious to everyone either. That's another UX issue. But I know
But you
here
did
it's
just
Y.
use it for the other questions, so that helps guide a little bit.
Sure. I mean, again, this is the hack together command line app. So I type Y and hit enter. So it actually, and it, it would like there to be a confirmation there that it made a new item. But if I click, hit the number 4, print to-do list, you'll see that we have an X through the first item, summarize conference notes right up here.
Mm.
But a new item, summarize conference notes, was created down at the bottom, which means we did it once, but there was still some work left to do.
Mm.
And that actually mimics exactly how Mark Forster asks people to use his to-do list algorithm, right? It's a paper algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And I added some extra features in here, like clear the dots. Like if I wanted to remove the dots, so we could review again now here. And it should start reviewing from mow the lawn. It shouldn't start reviewing from summarize conference notes because that item is done, the first one at least. So if I click review, it says it's marking the first ready item that should be mow the lawn. And it says, do you want to work out more than mow the lawn? This is correct. This is the desired behavior of this algorithm. Programmatically, because of the way Mark Forster designed this, the steps, really the only human input is, what do I want to do? And what do I want to do more right now? That's it. There's only two things that go into this program. And that makes it for a very, I believe, elegant, simple algorithm. The coding of it is not simple, unfortunately, because there are lots of, so it's kind of like the rules of Go are very simple, but when you actually play it out, there's some very complex strategies that occur. And of course, I took some design liberties here. For example, like I could have said something like, when you duplicate summarize conference notes up here, if there's work left, when you duplicate it, I'm going to add a number at the end, like number 2 or second time or something like that. Add some sort of like sequential. So you were able to finish it. Let's say the second time, 30 minutes, but you didn't finish again. So then it creates a third one, and so on and so forth. You would, if I added that, you would know by using this program, oh, this ended up taking me 4 sets, 4 blocks of 30 minutes, whatever it was for you. So, and when I'm reviewing here, I give the option to abort. So, you can review 2 or 3 or 5, 20 items and be like, okay, I've done enough reviewing. I'm ready to start doing stuff. So there's like a little human override here where I think in the paperless, he's like, yeah, do whatever you want, whenever you want to, but I encourage you to follow my algorithm because it's supposed to simplify your thinking, acting cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he calls it AutoFocus, because it's supposed to help you focus in on what you want to do. Like, what you want to do, but it's like, but you can't help but be overwhelmed when there are 20 things pressing for your attention. Or
I'm not sure that I always know what I want to do. I mean, maybe I need to trust myself more, but.
Well, right, but it's like, so I can say, I believe that right in this very moment, you know exactly what you want to be doing.
Right. So maybe it's my own belief in myself to know, maybe I have like a limiting belief that I believe that I don't know what I want to do, but in reality, especially if there's only 2 options, if I have to pick between 2 options, I can pick between 2 options.
Yes. So this algorithm is designed, my understanding is that Mark Forster designed this algorithm to combat decision fatigue. You're going to have to make some decisions, but by making tinier decisions, instead of making big, massive 100 variable decisions, just make a 1 variable decision, make a tiny decision. And when you don't feel like deciding anymore, stop deciding. When you feel like doing something, do something. When you feel like creating more of your list and letting your mind kind of offload some of these, like, I got these 5 things bouncing around my head, but I want to get them off my head, out of my head, and onto a screen so I can look at them and start making a meaningful sense of, like, people say prioritize, but they don't say how. And I love this, not because I feel like this is the best way. I have no idea that this is, however
Mm-hmm.
good it is or however effective it is, other than I feel like it's more effective than not using it for me personally.
Mm. I
I'm
think
sure. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I think it's also very the program itself and how the code flows feels a lot like how thought process is somewhat linear. And so
Time is linear, right?
I like the coding. I like how the app sort of presents a question and it's the only question on the page. By the time you get to the next question, there's still only one question on the page. Versus, like, I can write on the paper all of my things and I can tell myself to only think about one question and mark it. But the list on the page is static. And so it's really easy for my brain to go dart different directions versus the
Squirrel.
code is like, here's the question and I am blinking at you for my answer, please.
Yeah, yeah. It wants to help you. This program wants to help you. This program was created only by me to help whoever wanted to be helped by it. However, its ability to be helpful, I think, is limited because there's no processing of items. There's prioritizing and
Mm-hmm.
scratching off. So you can see in here, this list, we have one completed item, 2 items that were marked ready-ish. The
Mm-hmm.
current most want to do is always the bottom most dotted item. So
Mm.
this is the item. If we focused right now, it would be workout.
Mm.
Um, and I have, my own hack to undot everything if I want to. If you were using a paper list, you'd either use an eraser if you were using pencil, or you'd have to make an entirely new list.
Mm.
Or if you had space on the paper, you could just cross out all the dots and check marks out and add a new column of dots or a column of spaces. But in a digital program, it's nice. So what this program actually would allow me to do is save to a text file or to an Excel file,
Mm.
and like a CSV. Are we still there? You're still there, right?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. But what's cool is I could take the results of this program, the list as it is, export it out, take it into a program like TreeSwipe, and in TreeSwipe, I can now start filtering items and summarize conference notes after working on a few times or putting it off a few times. I could say, you know what, that's not a to-do list. That's not a to-do item. That is a project.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
yeah, no, please.
I mean, that's, I think, where the next questions come in, making sure you're writing something that is a good to do, but then also thinking about things that aren't a good to do. How do you summarize those and then pull daily to dos from projects that are more like weekly or monthly or yearly projects?
Sure, right. This program at its stage currently has nothing kind of like Rome Research or Athens, where it's like you only get to see today's items. Actually, behind the scenes, I believe each of these items does have a key. I'm sorry, key. A date ascribed to it. So like when it was made.
Oh.
So I could create a version of this program that says, just show me today's items, or show me the items. Only show me the items that have yet to be completed, right? So there are all sorts of like, I'll call them quote unquote convenience features or functions. They're really like essentials, as it's like once you start getting a lot of work, you'd be like, I really need to not see 50 completed items every time I'm looking at this program. And it needs to fit on a screen, and it needs to be readable, and there are all sorts of like usability things.
Yeah.
I made a few different versions of this program, and I'm not going to show you them all now, but I wanted to show you that I had taken it to a more accessible, graphical user interface place. Let's see if I can pull up the right window. And I'm listening to you, please.
I think that's so cool. I love how you started with this stage of the project. And I also want to just say that I think there's a strong psychological motivation reason to have a list that includes what you have already done.
Mm-hmm.
Because on one hand, it tells you what you are interested in doing. If you're not sure what you want to do, then look at what you have already done.
Yes. So, deleting that information isn't necessarily what you want to do.
Right. And yeah, it's for reusability, you might need to hide it, but having access to that, I mean, just in thinking about people who just worked with so many people who struggle with daily management of tasks, and especially people in recovery. I think it's so important to see what you have done. It's so easily lost in the contextualizing of your current awareness of how your life is going, and what your mood is has a big impact on mood.
Yes.
All right.
Build and run. Let me see if this will do the thing. Did I do run scripts? Yeah, I did run scripts.
You have so many cool projects. I just love it.
Thank you. I've had some time.
And you've used it.
Some time. Yeah. This was my this was my passion project. When a couple, 2, 3, 4 jobs back, I had some time in the evenings, and I wasn't too overwhelmed. Let me see what I got here from scripts to run. Let's see. Interesting. I want to do start command line app. I believe. We'll find out. I have to run to the restroom though for a moment. Would you like to stop recording, or would you like to just keep going?
I can pause.
Please pause. I will be right back.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.